The morning sun shimmered against the sleek silver body of the Bentley parked outside the glass tower. Mark Ellison adjusted his cufflinks as he stepped out of the revolving doors, his reflection following him in the car's polished surface. Billionaire, CEO, genius, the headlines had called him many things, but never kind. He didn't have time for that. Today, he was late for a meeting that would seal the biggest acquisition of his career. Billions on the line, hundreds of jobs, stockholders waiting. He had no room for distraction until he saw the small figure by the curb, a boy, maybe 8, dark skin, oversized hoodie, holding something in his hands, something wrapped in crumpled newspaper. Mark frowned. Security should have cleared the front. He muttered under his breath. The boy looked up at him wide-eyed, hesitant. "Mister," he called softly, "you drop this." Mark turned. The boy extended his hand. It wasn't his wallet, his keys, or his phone. It was a sandwich, the same kind the cafe across the street gave to the homeless every morning. "I didn't," Mark started. Then he saw the boy's face, hungry, but smiling. "My mom says to give food if you see someone looking tired." The boy said, "You look tired." The words hit harder than Mark expected. For a moment the city noise faded. The honking, the voices, the rush of people. He saw his reflection in the car window again, but this time it wasn't the powerful man staring back. It was someone empty. He looked at the sandwich. It was crushed, messy, barely wrapped, but offered with both hands. Mark forced a chuckle. "You're giving this to me." The boy nodded. "You can have half if you want. I already had some." Mark didn't know what to say. He had just left a meeting where he'd argued over a $5 million bonus. He'd stepped past people begging on the street without a glance, yet here was a child with nothing, offering half of what little he had. "Where's your mom?" Mark asked. The boy pointed toward the alley near the cafe. "She's talking to the nice lady who gives out food. She said God helps those who share." Mark's throat tightened. His phone buzzed. It was his assistant reminding him about the meeting. He glanced down at the screen, then back at the boy. "Hey," Mark said, kneeling to his level. "What's your name?" "Tyson." The boy said proudly, "Well, Tyson." Mark smiled faintly. "You just made my morning." He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out his wallet, fingers hovering over the bills. But something inside stopped him. Money felt small compared to what he'd just been given. Instead, he stood and said, "How about you and your mom join me for breakfast?" The boy's eyes widened. "For real, for real," Mark said, smiling. "No fancy stuff, just pancakes." Tyson grinned, grabbing his hand without hesitation. It was small, rough, warm, the kind of grip that didn't let you go until it meant something. They crossed the street together, the CEO in his tailored suit and the boy in his hoodie, walking side by side. The Bentley sat gleaming in the sunlight, forgotten for now. Inside the cafe, Mark watched Tyson devour his pancakes, syrup dripping down his chin. His mother thanked him quietly, eyes filled with cautious gratitude. Mark shook his head. "No," he said softly, "thank you." Because somewhere between the glass towers and the crowded sidewalks, between the silence of money and the noise of the world, Mark Ellison realized he'd been starving too.